Grateful Didi here. Some more modern world problems. Just my 2 cents on it. Let's just get right into this.
I was going to tell him that I wanted a divorce. I texted my therapist, our marriage counselor, and I was like, I need to tell him that I want a divorce, but I want to do it in a session so that there's like a mediator present.
Translation: she won in a 2-on-1 ambush.
Got us in like ASAP, like 2 days later. And I walked in knowing that I was going to ask for a divorce. And so we sit down in our session. It's like really tense, really awkward.
I don't mean, like, who would want to marry this chick, bro? First of all, she look crazy as hell. 2, she's really not even attractive. 3, like, I don't see how it would be any fun in the bedroom with this chick if she even allowed you to, which I wouldn't even be opposed to. She looks like she's built like a stick figure. And then 3, and then 4, just like, why are people even getting married through the state anyways these days? What are we doing? Like, the writing's been on the wall. Like, if you're dumb enough to get married in 2025, at least through the state, not like religiously through the church, whatever. If you're dumb enough to get married through the state in 2025, you deserve everything that you got coming for you.
My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session? The therapist was like, Jamie, do you want to start? And I just started crying, and I was like, I want a divorce. You know, it's hard for me to like say the words. I was like, I'm
obviously not, because you're on here talking about this shit on TikTok to a bunch of people that don't even know you just for some clout, bro. Like, I still to this day cannot understand why grown women, she looks about 32 years old, grown women are on here, actually maybe even a little older than that, bro, honestly. Grown women is on here telling their whole business, letting all their business out on the street. You know, there was once a term when, like, don't let my business out on the street. Well, they do that shit now all over TikTok, which is insane. I don't understand why you guys are doing this just for some clout. It's absolutely ridiculous. And throwing your own ex-man, even man, whatever, if you had kids with this nigga, the father of your kids, under the bus to gain some clout. It's just crazy, man, the things that they'll do for attention. They'll do anything for attention, man.
done. I want a divorce. He sat there quiet. I'm sitting next to him crying. He didn't move. He didn't look at me. He didn't react at all. He just was stone cold.
What?
And eventually our therapist was like, would you like to respond? So he responded right away, and he's like, fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details.
And I can see why she regrets it, because they want to see you hurt, bro. They want to see you hurt, bro. We were just like, shit, about time. All right, I don't care. And that really bothers these chicks, because at the end of the day, a lot of times these chicks, I really call chicks trolls, because they really just want to invoke a negative emotion out of you, especially in situations like this.
And that was that. And I just was like, I looked at my therapist and I was just like kind of stunned.
Oh, what's wrong, Pookie? Did your plan to get him to lose his cool in front of a witness so you can use it against him in court fail miserably?
It's sad, isn't it?
Like,
Man, these hoes be really manipulating out here, bro. They really be manipulating, bro, because I didn't even think of that. But that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, I wonder what this guy looks like. Like, why would you want to marry her, bro? She's not even like...
I knew that I was ready to leave that day, but I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy, there was no compassion, there was no like wanting to fight for us, which...
Fight for what?
Fight for us? You the one that wanted to file that shit, bro. Like, you see how backwards their logic is, man. She's the one who wanted a divorce, and she's gonna get mad at this nigga for not being mad at the fact that, pretty much, she's being mad at this nigga and shocked that he just accepted her wishes. Wow, you can't win, bro. You can't win. You can't win.
To try to rip his guts out in front of a stranger, or to give you ammo to use against him in court.
I don't think so.
I didn't think that there would be, but you know, you just always hope that like one last try, you know? We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day. Came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday?
Like, what the fuck is there to talk about, bro? The fact that you try to manipulate me and try to invoke a certain emotion out of me just for accepting your wishes, or for just because I didn't accept your wishes, excuse me. I mean, bro, like, this is just manipulation at its finest, bro. That's why even if you do decide to take that risk, because that's really all it is, marriage is a risk. And you just got to understand what you're getting yourself into and the consequences and the more than likely inevitable probabilities of what's probably going to happen to you. Because don't be that guy like, oh, it wouldn't happen to me, because it most likely will happen to you. So just understand what you're getting yourself into. If you want to get married, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? But this is more than likely the shit you're going to have to deal with that at some point.
No.
And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he's like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is our last ditch effort to like steer this ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we gonna do?
Sweetie, if you actually wanted a last-ditch effort, you effed it up by telling him you want a divorce, because now the only options he has are either to divorce you and keep his dignity, or beg you to stay, in which case he becomes a spineless Sam! Yes, his dignity was more important to him than your box.
And he just kept playing, and he was like,
It's probably not even good box anyways.
I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours. He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all this shit done.
Yeah, because men...
It's because, yeah. Look at you, bro. Look at what you saying, bro. Look at how you sound, bro. They just look at you. I'm good on that, all the way. Imagine after waking up to this shit, and this isn't even really hard because you probably got a billion filters on. Imagine waking up to this shit every day. I'd be like, yeah, not it.
Generally, don't cry about their fifis like you do. They solve problems. You came to him with a problem. The problem was you didn't want him as a husband anymore, so he solved your problem. Now deal with it.
And that's the bottom line.
And I don't understand what she's so choked up about when this is what you wanted. Like, this is what you wanted, and you over here tripping because he didn't respond negatively to what you wanted. See, this is the mindset of a lot of these chicks, guys. There's no logic. It's just, I don't really know what goes on in a lot of females' heads, bro. Like, they I almost kind of feel bad. I feel like a lot of these chicks really low-key on the spectrum, bro. If I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Stone Cold said so.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Fucking believable. Is there a part 2 of this bitch? No, it's probably not. Never threaten a man with freedom. Preach. I've only known her for 3 minutes and 48 seconds, and I want a divorce from her. No, like, real rap, bro. She's one of them, like, type A, annoying, just personalities that you just nah, bro. It just wouldn't work. 053, I hate her. I hate anyone who just eats and chomps on a camera while telling a story. Facts. That shit was mad annoying. She didn't want a divorce. She wanted a reaction. He called her bluff. The ex-husband was probably like, I can't believe I'm getting rid of her so easily. Wow, better not screw this up. Facts. He gave her exactly what she wanted, and she still wanted to be seen as the victim. I'm saying, bro, like, you can't win, bro. You can't win. You really can't win with these chicks, man. Yeah, he really semi-doctored, but he got grazed a little bit because he was there. He may have a few wounds and stuff, but at least he didn't get shot like 10 times. He only got shot like 2 or 3 times. And yeah, I mean, like I said, and I saw another comment saying that he behaved like a grown man and she behaved like a teenage little girl. I'm actually slightly convinced. You know when like people say, "Oh, girls mature faster," that may be true to an extent, like during adolescence and stuff like that. That may be true, but after a certain point, say 16, 17, 18 years old, they don't really have to mature anymore because the world's their oyster when they're young. And then they still carry this shit on even past their prime of, like, let's say about 22, 23 years old. That's probably when a female's the most attractive on average. They still carry this on, and they never really developed any, I don't know, logic, reasoning. They never developed themselves to actually grow up because they never really had to, because they just had everything given to them and they could just manipulate and use their beauty to get what they want. So that's why the wall hits so hard. When they stop getting the attention that they once did, it really fucks their heads up. Because now they actually have to be an adult. I'm signing off. I'll catch you guys on the next one.